What is love? So this topic is an important one for your own evolution into A, your skill, B, your potential, and C, your spiritual life as well. Because if we have any blocks towards that natural loving energy within ourselves, towards others, or towards situations, we block the connection to life. Because love essentially is life itself. It's synonymous with life in the sense that, you have a body which is sustained and healed by the natural energy of life, and that is a very much a lovingness. Love, life, and light kind of operate all together in kind of a nice little trifecta of frequency, which kind of uplifts and sustains us as humans. So love has many forms. It's the love between mother and son, the love between husband and wife, the love between a pet and a pet owner, a love for food, a love for friendships. Love has many forms, not just the kind of Hollywood form of romantic love, so to speak. So when we speak of love, we speak more of a frequency of lovingness, and love really isn't something that only acts in a certain way. It's more like what Bruce Lee talks about. It's like water. When it is in a cup, it becomes the cup. When it's in a teapot, it becomes the teapot. Because you may be walking with your kids and they start to run across the street, and you grab them and yell at them, not because you hate them, not because you're angry at them, but because you love them and you don't want them to get hit by a car. So love, it transforms, it molds, it shapes to an occasion, it heals and transcends. It's very much a non-linear aspect of ourselves, in the sense that it transcends time and space, in that when you can think of someone that you love very much that may not be here with us anymore, and you can still feel that lovingness for them. It's a quality, it's an emotion, but to bring it down to kind of a basic way of approaching it, you can think of it in terms of frequency, you can think of it in terms of vibration. So in that lovingness, in that love for oneself, for others, for life, you start to tap into a connection that's with everyone and everything. So the way I like to approach it is that life and love are the same thing. And what you really want to do is start to essentially tap into this frequency, so that you can A, tap into the connection between you and life itself, B, start to move towards your potential, and C, really start to dissolve all the blockages within us. Because the Buddha said it quite well. Holding on to anger is like drinking poison and expecting another person to die. So to truly be loving towards anyone, we must be loving towards ourselves, and we'll go deeper into that soon. Meaning, if you want to give love to others, you must have love in yourself. So in order to actually start that process of being loving, we must love ourselves. So what does that mean? What does it mean to actually be loving to oneself? To rid yourself of things which are unloving: fear, doubt, shame, blame, complaint, worry, doubt, stress, anxiety. Not that they aren't useful, because they are useful in that they communicate to you that your attention and your directionality internally is not fulfilling or uplifting or charging you up, so to speak. So there is a use to those negative emotions. It's not to say they're bad or wrong. It's just that we don't want to hang out in those frequencies. We want to use them for what they are. We want to use them as the tool that they are. The empty gauge on your car tells you that the petrol's run low. A ruler measures distance, and a spoon allows you to pick up solids or liquids, right? So tools have their function, meaning you wouldn't use a ruler to measure the water in the ocean, and you wouldn't use a spoon to measure the distance between two objects, right? So what I'm getting at is that your emotions are a tool. Then they communicate to you when your direction internally, meaning what you're thinking about, is away from your own spiritual and nature and your potential. So if you're thinking about something you don't want, essentially, or a direction you don't want to go, something you don't like, then you are going to have a depletion in your energy and emotion, which is not loving, so to speak, because you're using a forceful frequency inside yourself. So to be loving means that you are actually loving yourself. You're filling yourself with frequencies which are actually uplifting. that actually move you towards your spiritual nature, which actually help you towards your potential as opposed to the opposite. So what is love? Love is a frequency. It's a frequency that connects us, which helps us feel expansive and free and joyful. It's just like life itself. Life sustains and grows and builds everything. So this is our week's lesson. We're going to be discussing all the different aspects of love so we can start to step into that frequency internally for ourselves, for things within life, for others, and even for our enemies as well, or enemies, yeah, so that we can really start to step into that frequency. Because, you know, we talk about chi or energy, and to me energy and life are synonymous as well, because energy is a frequency that powers things, and that love and that life and that energy seem to be unified in the sense that as you feel more loving in yourself, as you feel more powerful, as you feel more connected, you're able to manifest more internal power in your kung fu, but also transfer that into your life, meaning your relationships, your work, your intellectual, mental, spiritual, all the different aspects of your life that we spoke about earlier in week 1. So, a good question to have in your mind today is, what is love? And that question can start to open up experiences for you, so you can start to dive into the experience of that. Any questions, put them in the community, and I look forward to seeing you in our next lesson.